Petro Poroshenko, thank you for joining me on the show today. You've got Ukrainian deaths, military deaths, up from 100 a day to anywhere between 200 and 500 a day, which is a huge number, obviously. President Zelensky has said there has to be a diplomatic end to this conflict. President Biden recently said the same. What does that diplomatic end or solution look like in your view, Petro Poroshenko? How much compromise on Ukrainian territory does that diplomatic solution involve?
You are absolutely right. You cannot find any nation in the world who wants peace more than we Ukrainians, because we hate an idea every single day to lose the life of Ukrainian heroes. But I have an experience, because for 5 years of my presidency, we were with a constant dialogue pretending Russia to stop their aggressive manner. I just want to remind you, when I was elected as a president, the whole Donbass was occupied. And me, as a Supreme Commander-in-Chief, deliberated from the Russian troops 2/3 occupied Donbass, including Mariupol, Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and all these towns which we have today in the news. And I want to assure you that we, in 2022, will have the same results as in 2014. What is the diplomatic solution? We have a three position. First, that should be the ceasefire. Together with the ceasefire, it should be second, withdrawal of the Russian troops. And third, it would be humanitarian question, releasing of the hostages and the humanitarian corridor. The Ukrainian territory and territorial integrity of Ukraine cannot be subject of compromise. This is the Ukrainian soil, and Ukrainian fighters, Ukrainian soldiers are giving their lives.
I understand the point you're making, and it's a principled position. Russia shouldn't be allowed to take territory from Ukraine. It's an illegal invasion and occupation. We agree on that. But realistically, surely you're the former president of Ukraine. You accept that Ukraine's never going to get Crimea back. It's never going to get parts of Donbass back. That's just the real world, isn't it?
1 month ago, some skeptics, including in the NATO member states countries, said that we never can deblock Kiev. We can never receive back Chernihiv. Please, a little bit more optimistic, because Ukraine surprised the world when within the first 3 days we stopped so-called second biggest army in the world. And I'm proud that me, as a Supreme Commander-in-Chief in the year 2014, create these armed forces based on the NATO standard. We surprised the world with our unity, and we, together with you, surprised the world with the unity and solidarity of the whole world, creating anti-Putin coalition. And Putin now paying the high price. And with that situation, we need just to do three things. First is weapons, and Ukraine don't need any NATO soldiers, but we need weapons to have an effective operation of our armed forces. Point number two, this is the sanction and embargo, and the total Russian export should be subject of embargo, because the 80% of Russian export using the commercial vessel for export. And point number three, this is the program of deputinization of the world. And with that situation, definitely, I am quite optimistic that we will have a success. And when Russia understands that they are paying the highest price, that would be the way for diplomatic solution.
President Zelensky is seen as a hero in much of Ukraine and much of the Western world today. You and he haven't had the best of relations in the past. He beat you soundly in the 2019 election. His government has since accused you of treason, something I know you deny. And you, of course, when you were running against him, and even after he took office, you suggested Zelensky was soft and weak on Russia. Do you still think that? And what do you make of President Zelensky's leadership of Ukraine over the course of this conflict?
Definitely the world is separated before and after 24th of February. If before 24th of February, the main topic was the politically motivated persecution, attack for the freedom of press, and many, many other things, I am absolutely confident that we do not have any other priorities like to save Ukraine, to stop Putin, to throw Russians away from Ukraine, and then we can discuss the internal political question. And me, as a fifth president of Ukraine, as a leader of Ukrainian opposition, as the leader of the second biggest fraction in the parliament, now can state, we don't have any more president or leader of the opposition. We have soldiers, and both me and President Zelensky are soldiers to shoulder need to protect country. And definitely we have some in the teams, we have some so-called useful idiots who want to attack our unity. But we would be clever enough, do not allow them to implement this scenario.
Okay. Petro Poroshenko, you know that Russia and Vladimir Putin want the world to believe that Ukraine, your country, is filled with Nazis. That's what they say, which is, of course, nonsense. They even ridiculously accuse the Jewish president of your country of being a Nazi. Nonsense. Yet at the same time, you yourself, your critics would say, have invoked Stepan Bandera, the notorious Ukrainian nationalist who was an anti-Semite and a collaborator with Nazi Germany. On this network you called Molotov cocktails Bandera smoothies. You've been accused of handing out military vehicles called Bandera mobiles. What do you say to your critics who say that's not just morally wrong, but a PR gift to Russia? It helps their Nazi propaganda narrative about your country.
I have a personal experience to have a negotiation with Putin within 5 years. And I have two recommendations. Please, recommendation number one, don't trust Putin. Don't believe Putin. Because this is the concept of lying. This is the Russian propaganda as an element of the hybrid war of Russia against the whole world.
Yes.
And second position, please don't be afraid of Putin. Because Putin go as far as we together allow him to go. Help us to save you. Help us to save the world, because Putin have a war not against Ukraine. Putin have a war against the whole world. And you have an old information, because on the very beginning, Putin said that they go to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine. After first
Petro
2 weeks of the war...
I agree with you that Vladimir Putin is pushing propaganda. I agree with you that he's trying to smear the Ukrainian people. All I'm asking is, was it helpful for someone like yourself to be invoking Stepan Bandera, who was a Nazi collaborator during World War II?
First of all, please don't stay on the rail of Putin. Stepan Bandera never was a Nazi collaborator. And again, you have an old information, because in the first 2 weeks, he said that we Ukrainians are Nazis. Now he said that the whole Western world, including you, are Nazis. And this is very easy just to cooperate and to understand. Now all Western world who fighting against dictatorship, against aggression of Russia is with a Putin crazy mind is the Nazist. And please don't even distribute this position, because this is help country aggressor. And thank you for supporting me. Thank you for staying on this position.